Hello, everybody. This is Spangle here with a weekly, yes, it is going to be weekly again, FOB Equestria Podcast, the official podcast of FOB Equestria, home of the military Bronies. This week I have with me King Harold and Miche as per usual, as well as our very own resident musician, Navy Brony. Say hi if you want to.
Hello.
And that was also an invitation for King and Miche to say hi.
Oh, hey.
Hello.
Anyway, so this week, I know last week we didn't really do any sort of artsy stuff. It was kind of like, we're back and here's everything that happened type of deal. But this week, we are going to kind of get back to the roots of what we started doing on this podcast, actually giving you some previews of things we thought were interesting. Although I did want to cut that down a little bit just because in the past it was a little excessive. You know, I think on podcast number 3, I probably had 5 songs or 6 songs and 5 or 6 videos, and it was a little ridiculous. But anyway, so anything you guys want to say before we get this thing started off?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. So I guess the first thing to begin with is the Movember competition we are hosting, the Studley Stallion Stache-off. We talked about this last week. We posted that link in that description, and if you wanted to join in, you just click that link, if you're watching it via YouTube. And it also got featured on Equestria Daily. They made a big, nice post on it. And I know we had a conversation about this in our Skype chat. Basically, we felt like some people missed the point. And by that, it was kind of like you saw some people saying, oh, I can't grow a mustache and this, that, and the other, and kind of like complaining that they couldn't get the prizes. And completely missing the point that this is for charity, that this is a charity drive, that this is to help promote men's health and is for a good cause. And you shouldn't, if you can't participate, well, that's a shame, but you could still donate and help. Just saying.
Or at least, just spread the word. Or if you have, a friend that you'd like the prizes go to, recommend to them. It's, that's what the whole point of the entire contest is.
Or you could get a non-brony friend who can grow a mustache and participate, and then you can get all the prizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was just kind of like, our initial reaction to everyone else's initial reaction was kind of, Bronies, we are disappointed. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to put down the people who posted comments or anything, but I'm just saying some people missed the point of, this is a charity thing, this is for a good cause, and you're complaining you can't win the prizes. A little selfish, I suppose. But
yeah, it might be that the post didn't express just that it is a charity thing and not
right. And that might be partially our fault if we didn't quite tell Equestria Daily. We could have given them a little more guidance on how to word it, but it's in general. How is that going anyway, King?
the competition.
Yeah.
We're at about 65 contestants at the moment.
So right now, what do we think we're going to get? Probably 100, maybe 200 max?
I'm hoping for 100, but it hasn't really gone up in the past few days. But we've also already gotten about $300 in donations to our to the Movember.com group there.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yep.
That's awesome. I'm very happy about that. Every donation helps. And, if I guess I'll post the link to this whole competition, our page in the official Movember page in this podcast description as well, just to make sure everyone who didn't quite catch last week's or, whatever can just find it here to further the cause. Yeah. But anything else anyone wants to talk about on the Movember thing? Anything you want to put out there? I'm sorry, Navy?
You should have an Adopt a Sailor drive, because we like to grow stashes while we're on deployment.
Yes. Oh, actually, that was one thing I wanted to bring up. So, Navy, welcome back. How was your whole boat tour?
It wasn't bad. It was just a month-long detachment.
Yeah. So, do you have any idea how long you're going to be around this time before you're off again?
Probably a decent amount of time. Probably until the new year at least.
Oh, so you will actually be... I'm glad to hear that, definitely. It means you have time to work on music again. Definitely a fan of your style, that industrial style.
Yeah, I'll pretty much be around until probably about mid-January.
Awesome. So then, about then, you're going to be gone again. So you probably... Have you heard of any of the talk about the Lost Pegasus Unicon that's coming up in February?
Heard a little bit about it. Wish I could go.
Yeah, I was going to say, due to basically the way you were talking, it doesn't sound like you would be able to. And
yeah.
Actually, I know.
Stupid
I'm
deployment.
sorry. Yeah, deployments, right? Just part of being in the military.
Yep.
But Michelle and I are trying to go. We don't know if we'll be able to yet, for sure. But, it's going to be... It's so far in the future that nothing definite has been set. I mean... they're still trying to figure out who they're getting to come in, so we'll see what that turns into. But I'm excited at the possibility of being able to go to another convention. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
If you hit up some casinos, play craps. That is the most fun game I've ever played.
I'm not the gambling type. I don't know about Michelle, but no, not me.
Gamble away all the monies.
But then I won't have any monies for ponies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
More ponies for me.
Yes. Anyway, on to the next point of discussion. So earlier this week, there was a post made. There was kind of news floating out there that Razer joined the herd. Razer is a computer company, for those of you unaware, that makes all sorts of hardware. And, I'm kind of excited at the prospect of this. Simply because it potentially means Razer, My Little Pony themed Razer hardware. So,
that is the most likely outcome. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't do anything like this.
Yeah.
But that's really unfortunate because not even a week ago, I bought a gaming mouse from Razer. And that means I'll have to go out and buy another $60 mouse from Razer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Here's to hoping that they release a line of Cutie Mark computer mice.
I would own every single one of them.
I would have to buy at least one of them. And honestly, I use some Razer gear. I mean, I'm running a Razer Lycosa keyboard, and honestly, my mouse and headset are Logitech, but, I run what I like. But should pony-themed computer gear come out from Razer, you can bet that they're probably going to sell out rather quickly. So you got to jump on that. And my friend and I perfectly demonstrated this. So the fact of the matter of you go into a store looking for pony gear, and it's like you get there and they're pretty much sold out of everything you wanted because everyone else is coming and taking it.
Yeah. I had the opposite, or not opposite, but I was in Germany the other week, and while I was there, I visited a pretty big mall over there. And there was no pony anywhere.
Really? That's depressing.
I went to 2 toy stores and nothing.
Huh. You'd think they would figure this out. Because,
So, Germany need to get their shit together.
Yes. Germany, why you no have ponies?
Yeah, I was a victim of that. When I had just PCS from Okinawa and I got here, I needed a blanket. So I went out to Target and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get me a pony blanket. And I got there and the only one, and they only had one left. The only one they had left was the pink Twilight and Celestia blanket. I ended up doing that. So now my sheets, my pillow, and my blanket are pink ponies.
Says the Marine. Yes. Actually, there was who brought this up? Someone brought it was you, Navy, that's right. Well, I think Sana brought it up, and then you kind of went to town with your mystical background checks. I don't even know how you do that. You it's like someone points something out, and you instantly know everything about that person.
Yeah, people usually put too much information on online. Yeah,
Apparently.
slurring over my tongue again.
It's fine. But, okay, so apparently there's a Marine giving us some hate on, what was it, the Military Bronies React video or something?
Nah, this is just on one of my own videos.
Oh, this was on one of your own videos. So he was specifically trash-talking you.
Pretty much.
Wow. And then you pretty much found out where he was stationed, what his job was, what rank he was, all this stuff within a very short period of time. And it was a little scary at the same time because it's like, note to self, never get on Navy's bad side. Because he will find me and potentially he may do something very horrible. But knowing you, it wouldn't be something horrible, but at the same time, it's like, I'd rather not just an E5 when I am an E4, just saying. And it's just kind of funny when you get other service members kind of like showing this whole intolerance, I guess. I mean, it's kind of to be expected more among the military than the regular civilian population, I suppose. But at the same time, it's like we get so much PA training and kind of like just, public relations training in general that most of us, even if we disagree with something, we know to keep our mouths shut. This guy apparently not so.
Yeah, and the thing about, you've got to figure in the fact that, if the person who's giving you trouble states that they're military as well, and they know that you're military, then if you know each other's ranks, like, technically they actually can at that point get in trouble for not treating you with respect.
Really? Yeah. So, note to all you possible haters that are listening, which, I doubt there's any, because really, why would you be listening to this if you don't like My Little Pony at all? But I guess that's just something I was not aware that they could get in legitimate trouble. That's kind of something to keep in mind when, I guess, if haters are gonna hate, that if they're in the military, they should do it very cautiously.
Yeah, and then, you get your yearly public affairs training, and a lot of people don't seem to realize that you can give out your rank and you can actually give out your name. A lot of people hide that information. They give out information that they're not supposed to, such as where they're stationed.
Yeah. And that's OPSEC at its finest, or actually there's a severe lack of OPSEC with some people. Because you're right, you aren't really supposed to publicly broadcast where you are, what you do, all that fun stuff, because, people can... That's information for the enemy, or so they say.
You never know who's listening.
Yeah, it's a really big thing because I actually just got all this fun training, and if they know that you work in a place that has an importance to what they want, you become a target for things like social engineering. They're like, oh, well, I know he has access to this place, so I can piggyback him, catch his pin, swipe his card, and now I have access there. So it's kind of things like that.
Yeah.
And it would also be really embarrassing to get captured or abducted because of ponies.
It would, wouldn't it? But anyway, so moving on to the next topic, because we went off on a bit of a tangent, but whatever, it is always fun.
All of the tangents.
I love them too. It makes this more interesting for everyone involved, including us. But next topic.
No, just you.
Oh, just me? Okay, that's fine. That's all. That's the only reason we're all here anyway, for my entertainment.
No, we're all here to just to listen to you, Spangle.
Yeah, everyone has noted I tend to lead the conversation a lot. It's just because I hate silence. I can't stand it.
And you are the host after all.
I suppose I am I not? I mean, this is kind of my child, my baby. I was the one who kind of said, "Hey, let's do a podcast. I'm in charge."
Hey, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Anyway,
I would wonder though if 1 week, if you had a week where just you did the podcast,
but listening to
if
one
anyone
person...
would notice.
Oh, you wound me.
Ooh.
That hurts. But at the same time, I know there's an element of truth there. You wound me, King. Anyway, the new radio show with every pony. Again, we talked about it last week, but last week we didn't even have a name for it. All the details kind of got hammered out this week. It is now called Band of Bronies. After many, many name ideas, we settled on Band of Bronies. And for those of you not quite sure, that is basically a pun on the Band of Brothers series. Band of Brothers, Band of Bronies, same thing. Not at all. But it is a good series, for those of you wondering. It's a great war series. I strongly recommend checking it out if you have not seen it. Derail. But anyway, so that airs every Saturday morning. What time did that end up airing this morning?
This morning it was 09 Eastern. But we are discussing we are probably going to move it to 11 o'clock Eastern. So stand by for further word for that.
Okay, so what we initially planned on potentially it being a pre-show podcast type of thing, because My Little Pony is scheduled to air 10 o'clock Eastern time. So it was kind of like we had this idea of maybe, we do our podcast. It's kind of a podcast, I suppose. This radio show at 9 o'clock, do it for 45 minutes, and then say, okay, now everyone go over to Midnight Run, because we are in contact with them, and watch the stream of the new My Little Pony episode. So that was kind of the initial thought. And I guess it sounds like I kind of like this idea a lot more, because if it's at 11, that means it's after My Little Pony, and we can kind of do a breakdown of saying, give our thoughts on the new episode. So I like that.
Yep, it's definitely a lot better. It's just so hard that not only do you have like a bunch of members of the military spanning the entire world, but now you have military and normal regular people all over the world. Like I think one guy is from Croatia. We have somebody from Australia. We have somebody from the UK. Now we have somebody East Coast. We have somebody in the West Coast. Somebody it's a logistical nightmare, but we're gonna pull it together. It's coming. It's going to be good.
Yes, it is an absolute logistical nightmare. And this first radio show, from my understanding, it could have gone better. We only had 4 of the members show up because of time constraints and other events going on. And I mean, I'll own up.
Spangle oversleeping.
Hey, I had a long work day last night, okay? I was tired. And I slept through my alarm, so yes. I own up to my faults and failures. It happens. But in the future, as we get it all sorted out and we get it all figured out and put together, if it's at 11 o'clock, I doubt oversleeping will ever be an issue, because we all know I'm going to be up for the stream of the new episode, without a doubt. Everyone will. And all that good, fun stuff. So, any other comments on the new radio show? Silence means no? Okay. So, now there was something I noticed. Recent list of episodes for Season 3 came out. So far, the only episodes we have descriptions for are, 1 and 2, the Crystal Empire episodes, which are going to air next 2 weeks from now. And
spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah.
How is that a spoiler?
Some people don't even want to know the episode names.
Right. Have you spoken to Josh?
He doesn't even want to know the episode names? That's a little over the top.
He was quite angry when the name of the villain was revealed to him.
Oh, yes. Yes. I remember that. he's one of those people who absolutely hates spoilers. And Saunter was kind of the one who did that, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Yes. Anyway, so one of the names of the episodes further down the line is called Wonderbolt Academy, or so we have been told. And, I'm kind of wondering what direction they're going to take with that. It kind of sets up the stage for a possible military feel episode, especially since the Wonderbolts are kind of like the premier flying team, like the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds. But we'll see.
I don't really think it's gonna be a military theme. I think it's more gonna be something along the lines of some training academy for the Wonderbolts.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's probably going to be a Dash episode, I think. But yeah, I think it's going to be her kind of going on. Well, yeah, I think. What I think it's going to be is Rainbow Dash actually going in and trying to actually apply for a position at the Wonderbolts, and they kind of put her through the training. So I'm kind of interested to see how that would go through.
Yeah. When I saw Wonderbolt Academy, it did raise hopes in me for maybe something of a more military theme, but at the same time, I recognize that they're tailoring the show to be suitable for all audiences, which includes, younger children, little girls, and the military theme. They got to be careful on how they would do that if they were to do that. And so I think you're right. I think it's going to definitely be a Dash-themed episode, and it's going to be her going through more of a training camp, kind of like a sports camp of sorts almost, rather than a military feel. So it's like I was excited, and I'm still excited, obviously.
There's always the possibility of some pointers to military practice.
Yes, there are, and I'm you know what, I'm definitely still, like I said, excited about this episode, even if they don't go with any sort of military theme. But at the same time, it still does present the potential for some, like you said, little hints at military. So we'll see. It also,
and the captain of the Wonderbolts is called Spitfire, and as everybody knows, the Spitfire was one of the best airplanes of the last World War.
Yes, World War II Spitfires, man. If you haven't seen those pictures of Spitfire and a Spitfire or Spitfire flying with a Spitfire, you should check out our art posts. Just saying, there's been several. But it's kind of actually almost a worn-out joke at this point because of how many pictures there are of it.
Can you say that list of Spitfires again?
I would, but no.
He can't remember them.
I don't think that's the issue. I think the issue is...
That was impressive.
Anyway, so like I said, I'm excited for the episode. I'm really curious to see what they do with it, but I think you guys are right. It's more likely than not is going to kind of be like a training sports camp-like atmosphere rather than a military-like atmosphere. And, I mean, it's been done before, but where they have successfully done a kid-friendly version of a military training camp in other cartoons, but I'm not sure if they're going to take that route. But I'm not.
And this might be a spoiler for some, but we have seen more of Shining Armor in the preview images, so we might get some military themes from him being a part of the show now.
Yes, I'm excited. Actually, I'm really glad that they didn't just bring him on as like a one-time deal for the season finale, and that they're actually going to reintroduce him, because that was kind of one of my issues with them bringing him in at the very end. I'm like, wait, she has a brother? We're just finding out about this now. And let me guess, he's going to be a one-shot character that we see for this one thing and then never again. But I was proven wrong. So, and I'm glad I was proven wrong. So, yeah.
Yeah, yep. Honestly, I think we could use a lot more of those one-shot characters. Like, I don't know, I really like Cranky Doodle Donkey. I really liked him. I thought he was a really cool character, and I'd love to see him come back.
Yeah, we'll see. They hinted. I can't remember what the post said exactly, but there was hinted somewhere about the return of a villain, and there was some speculation on it.
Pine cones.
Yes, pine cones. That is a reference. That's a subtle reference towards Trixie. And
subtle.
What do you mean subtle? That only people that are pretty involved in the Brony community know about Trixie and her pine cones.
Only in Seth's dreams.
Only in Seth's dreams. But it has been hinted. It has been suggested that could mean either Discord or Trixie, and everyone else obviously wants to see another Luna episode or more Luna appearances. I mean, Luna.
Yes, more Luna, please.
Yes, more Luna. But I remember hearing, I forget where it was, but I remember hearing saying John Delancey is working with My Little Pony again. So, hey, maybe he's coming back as Discord. Maybe he's got like another character coming in. Maybe he's King Somber.
I'm not going to lie. If there is a returning villain, I definitely want Discord to return.
Oh, yeah. Same here.
Oh, definitely.
But we know also, that Seth, and for those of you not familiar, Seth is the guy who runs Equestria Daily, but Seth would just probably die if it was Trixie. I mean, he is such a big Trixie fan, it's ridiculous. But kind of like I'm a huge Luna fan. I mean, I almost died when the season finale of season 2 came out, and I was like, Luna, heart, stop. But
stay indoors, Spangle.
That's why you should convert to be a Fluttershy fan, because then you get that experience all the time.
Oh, King, being a Fluttershy fan yourself, how did you like the Andrea Liebman interview?
I've always been a big fan of Liebman because not only is Fluttershy my favorite pony, but Pinkie Pie is pretty much the runner-up.
Yeah.
So I thought the interview was a great deal.
Yes, and also that little quip at the end that she did with her shout-out. Blackhawk, GTR Blackhawk, and myself almost died. Like, we were in the room when the interview was going on, and we almost just lost it just because of how awesome that was. And Black Griffin, we let him know that he has been given full-on permission to animate that. We actually asked Andrea about that. Right after the interview, we said, hey, this guy we know who does animations for stuff like that, is it okay if he uses that voice clip? And she said, oh, absolutely. He's 100%, cleared to go on that. So maybe something to look forward to in the future. Just saying.
Maybe.
Anyway, so
probably not.
Why would you say such a thing, Michelle?
Because I want to hurt your feelings.
Oh.
Love and tolerance for all.
Oh. Anyway, videos. So, only one this week. It took us a while to get to this category, but only one. It's called We, quote-unquote, Don't Like Ponies. And this made it into a roundup as well on EQD.
Amazing.
It's hilarious. It is just purely hilarious. We're going to cut here for a minute to play a quick excerpt, and then we are going to discuss it. So enjoy the quick little clip, and then join us back here for a quick discussion.
You know which pony I can't stand?
Which pony?
Applejack.
I can't stand Pinkie Pie.
I can't stand Rarity.
Rainbow Dash.
Twilight.
Sparkle. Cheerily.
Apple Bloom.
Sweetie Belle.
Scootaloo.
Princess Celestia.
Brayburn.
Octavia.
Big Macintosh.
Hoity-toity.
Derpy Hooves.
I'm not wearing a My Little Pony shirt right now.
Nor am I.
Mare.
Cranky Doodle Donkey.
Vinyl Scratch.
Queen Chrysalis.
Shining Armor.
Princess Luna.
Bon.
Fancy Pants.
All the Wonder Bolts.
Flim. The Great and Powerful Trixie.
And we're back, because we never left. You did. That's the awesomeness of post-editing. But, so, everyone here has seen it. At least, I know King and Michelle have seen it. Navy, did you get a chance to see it? Navy?
Sorry, I brought up the link.
Okay. Have you seen it yet?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Just making
Trying to
sure.
find a good audio sample of it for you guys.
Oh, you're gonna play an audio sample, huh?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Not anymore.
Oh. Anyway, so what did you guys think of it, besides Miche stating the obvious hilarity of the whole thing?
Well, I think it's a comic way of displaying just how haters can suddenly become bronies.
Or how haters may secretly be bronies.
That too.
It is quite funny, and I love the way they're talking.
In their gruff man voice. Ponies. I hate ponies.
I have to say, I need to give a shout out to them just for how well they did the voices, how consistent they were, and how kind of believable it was. Obviously it was forced, but it wasn't forced too much. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, I agree.
I liked the really quick transitions and cuts that they did between the two of them. It kind of reminded me of the editing that they did in Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. Just as really rapid fire cuts between two characters talking.
Yeah. I actually did not pick up on that, but you're right, it is. Michelle, you're right too. I mean, it's forced, it's all scripted, but at the same time, it isn't like one of those you want to facepalm forced moments. It's funny. And it's surprisingly well done. I wasn't quite sure what I expected when I first started watching it, but I was happy I watched it after.
I did like the authentic props though. The one guy who had a mustache.
Oh yes, it wasn't a fake mustache; it was an actual mustache and all that fun stuff. And them drinking beer, and I love how it ended. I'm not going to spoil it, but
You can't spoil it now because they've already seen it, Spango.
Huh? No, I only played a short clip. I would never play a spoiler clip. Never, ever. Why would I do such a thing?
On a regular basis.
On a regular
That's all I do.
Yeah. You want to know what I really hate? Ponies. Yes. So that was quite a bright spot in my day. Just made me laugh and all that good stuff. So, any other thoughts on the video?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Moving on.
Moving on to art. Yes. And when I say art, I mean drawn artwork. If I mean music or animation, I'll specify, obviously. But art for me usually means hand-drawn or, graphical images, all that good stuff. So first thing to bring up is our Facebook banner. This is really the first time we've showcased all of our OCs. I mean, if you follow Miche on DeviantArt, which I don't know if you really have too many Deviant Watch people, Miche, but he has posted a little, I guess, not full
banner?
Images. Huh? No, you haven't put the banner on your DeviantArt. I follow you. You haven't.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, you have posted a partial picture of your OC there. So if people have seen that, they know what yours kind of looks like. They know what Saunters and Navy Bronies looks like.
And Firebrand.
Where do they? I have never seen
Firebrand? That was the first one I did.
Oh no! You're right. No, I'm sorry. I derped. I meant to say Firebrands and Navies. I don't think anyone has seen Saunters before, and I know for a fact no one has seen mine besides, you guys. So this was the first time that we actually kind of made all of our OCs come to life and come together, and I'm very happy with the finished project. It was done by the guys over at the first Platoon. And yes, thank you for almost saving me from a potential derp there, Miche.
No problem, anytime.
Anytime. And they did a rather good job. There was definitely a lot that went into this, trying to get all the uniforms right, making sure all the details were there, and everything kind of came out how it was intended to. So, I am very happy with the finished product. And I think it's awesome how they just positioned all our OCs. Now, it's there was something I observed, and I thought it was kind of odd, but awesome at the same time, that 3 of the 6 of us chose to go with Pegasi as our OC's race. And there was some speculation on why that was. And really, King? Really, King? I'm sorry, guys. King just posted something in the chat that was...
I'm sorry, that just happened in my Twitter timeline.
We are not going to discuss that here. But anyway, effective derail, if only for a moment. The OC is basically... Right now, Firebrand is the only one of us who decided to go with a unicorn, which I thought was rather odd. It's kind of like, especially with how many computer guys we have here, I would have expected more. I mean, obviously, I went with Pegasus because
I guess
I'm Air Force.
us computer guys are just secretly wanting to spread our wings and fly.
I suppose so.
Yep. I mean, what, 3 of us are computer guys, and we have 2 Pegasi and an Earth Pony?
Saunter, is the Earth Pony of the 3 computer guys, and I mean, I do my own computer stuff in my free time, so I'm not nearly as... I'm not nearly as well versed as Saunter or King, but I know more than your average Joe about computers. So it's like...
And Misha, he doesn't know anything about computers, so...
Right, it's only my job.
It's only his job.
Oh, snap!
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
That was Navy playing
No
a sound
problem.
bite. Because it's kind of... He does actually have a nice... Navy has an awesome setup to where he can play many things through TeamSpeak. Navy, you should get... What's that thing called? A soundboard or something?
Yeah, I think it's called Soundboard.
Yes, you should get that.
It used to be free.
It used to be, and then, money grubbing and all that fun stuff. But still, I am very happy with the finished product. The uniforms, while somewhat ponified and missing their pants.
No pants.
It's ponies. Pants are kind of uncommon among ponies, but they all pretty much have service jackets and stuff. And it looks very good. I'm very happy with the finished product. It is on our Facebook page right now, is it not, Michelle?
That is correct.
Okay. And I, like I said, it turned out very well. I just thought it was a little weird that half the staff were Pegasi, and then Commander Firebrand was the only one that was a unicorn. Though Navy didn't. You said that initially your OC was supposed to be a Pegasus. So.
Yeah, my actual vectored version of my OC is Pegasus, and I completely forgot to add the wings when I was drawing my updated one with more of a line art approach. So I'm just going to say that my wings are currently in phase inspection.
Oh, and then we had the short discussion of, well, you're in one of your OC drawings anyway. I noticed he had on scuba gear. I'm like, oh, well, it makes a little more sense because that Earth Pony strength would come in handy when he was swimming. I mean, it's pretty much universally agreed that Earth Ponies get that extra strength and stamina boost of all the races.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn between the two.
Yeah, I know. So, Navy may grow wings in the future.
But at the same time, it would be special for a Pegasus to love water.
It would be special, wouldn't it?
Just like Fluttershy has fallen in love with the ground.
Indeed.
Good point.
When Hasbro re-releases the old Aqua Ponies from G1, 2, and 3 into G4,
no.
Then
No.
Navy, then he is going to morph into an Aqua Pony.
The sea ponies, you mean?
Yes.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yes. So what are you so against sea ponies?
My thoughts on the subject.
Navy, you need to join us more often.
I love
You are a
that.
blast. Anyway, So, with any other final thoughts on the Facebook banner? Because I am just blown away and absolutely thrilled with how it turned out.
I have to give
It's
props
awesome.
that even though like some of our positions, we have our arms folded and stuff like that, but if I look closely, I can still see a service stripe on my actual uniform, and I think, if I recall, the medals are actually like the actual medals that we have.
Yes.
So that was just small attention to detail that probably won't even get noticed, but just that little amount of detail goes the extra mile.
Yeah. When I was actually when I was talking with the guy from First Awesome Platoon, I actually went around to all of us. I don't remember if you remember, but I went around and said, "Hey, I need a picture of all of your awards." Well, I actually went over to him and I said, "Here's all the awards," and he positioned them accordingly.
Yes, I was kind enough to actually have a picture of how they were all supposed to be positioned. So, I was very happy with the level of detail he paid attention to. All the little pins and everything that's supposed to be there is there. And like Navy pointed out, they are our actual ribbons and awards and all that stuff. They actually have our real ranks on there. So it's just that level of detail adds that extra dimension to it. It makes it so... like I said, it's what really blew me away. So... I guess with nothing else to discuss on the Facebook banner, unless you guys have something you want to otherwise bring up on it. Nope. Okay. Onto the second part of the comic art thing. This was a comic I found on, well, obviously, a lot of my comics, I am subscribed to people on DeviantART. If I find a person who uploads comics pretty regularly, or just art I like pretty regularly on DeviantArt, I'll start watching them. And it's funny because every now and again I'll catch things before they end up on EQD, just because that level of quality always seems to make its way there. Anyway, so this comic was one of those people I am subscribed to, or I guess watching on DeviantArt. And they did get featured on Equestria Daily, so props to them. But it's a comic called A Truly Happy Hallowe'en. And it was kind of my thoughts about the whole Season 2 thing in the first place. The Season 2 finale, I suppose. And basically... the comic was about this. It was basically the changelings come in and invade on Halloween, and they're like, "We're back, rah! We're gonna take all your love." And then they're like, "Wait, you just want our love?" And the changelings are like, "Well, yeah, that's kind of what we need to feed on." And then the ponies are like, "Okay, we love you," and they all gave them hugs and like showed them love. And they're like, the changeling Queen Chrysalis was like, "Remind me why we didn't just do this in the first place." So I liked the comic. I thought it was pretty funny, and it kind of said what I was thinking during the Season 2 finale. So what did you guys think?
I just can't take so much kindness in one sitting. Need hatred.
That sums it up. Like, I thought it was absolutely adorable.
Same.
Yeah. It's... like I said, I also found it kind of ironic that at the end of the Season 2 finale, when Queen Chrysalis was like, "What? Oh, you guys are fools. Love can't defeat us. Rah!" It's like love defeating people. What a silly notion. I'm like, wait a minute. You feed on love, and she used the power of love to take down Princess Celestia. And she's down talking the power of love right now. What?
Do you drink water?
Do I drink water? Yes.
Okay, let me go grab a fire hose real quick and see how much water you can drink.
No, not what I'm saying. Not what I'm saying at all. I just thought it funny that Queen Chrysalis was like saying the notion of her being defeated by the power of quote unquote true love. Like, she was laughing at that concept when, like, just minutes before she had defeated Princess Celestia because of the power of true love. I'm just saying, irony and a little bit of, like, derp moment. That's all.
It's cartoon logic.
It is cartoon logic. But at the same time, it's like, it was just it didn't make sense. Did not compute.
All the sense it doesn't make.
All the bucks it doesn't give. Pretty much. Anyway, still good comic. Link obviously in the description, and I've probably been, if I do my job right as in post editing, it should have been kind of just panning down as we were talking about it. So you could have been reading it as we were talking. Just saying.
The comic does somewhat represent a point for all the haters too. I can explain.
Okay.
Let's just say that the changelings are the haters, and just like in the season 2 finale, they come to feed off the Brony love, and then the Brony way to attack haters is to love them.
Pretty much. If you don't do that, you aren't doing your job right as a Brony. Just saying.
Right. And so what this comic could say is that to all the haters, instead of just throwing hate at us, why not just accept our love?
Join us. One of us. No, I think that is one of the most appealing parts of this fandom is just, every now and again you get the Brony who doesn't quite get the mentality down quite right, but in general, Bronies are very friendly, very kind people who are just pleasant to be around. Just saying. It's one thing I like about this community a lot. But
is the Ponies.
The Ponies. I came for the Ponies, but I stayed for the Bronies. Let's leave it at that.
No, I came for the macaroni.
If I was a Brony, I would only do it for macaroni.
But have you guys heard of the new thing? I don't remember exactly what it's called, but I think it was something like Bronies or something.
No, I have not.
Basically, the Brony fandom has gotten their own fandom.
What?
Yeah, it's people who just like the Brony products and not the actual show.
Huh. Okay, I can see that because I've actually run across the opposite before too. People who love the show, but they don't like anything that's made in the community, which kind of surprises me. Some of my other Brony friends have described these people as quote unquote purists or something to that extent, where they don't partake in any of the Brony community. Any of the music or any of the animations or artwork or any of that, and they just strictly take part in the show, and they don't like any of the fan-made stuff, which I don't see how you can't.
Yeah, I actually do have a friend like that, and it kind of frustrates me because I'll be in here and I'll just be drawing my ponies and all that kind of stuff, and he'll walk in and be like, "Can't you just watch the show?" It's why do you have to do all this other stuff? And I'm like, because the community is what makes the show even better. Just saying.
Yeah. Because Ponies.
Because Ponies.
And don't get me wrong, I love the show. It's the main reason I came.
No. Because sea ponies.
Yes.
Oh god.
Aqua pony.
But no, I actually had not heard about that, King. About the whole Brony community basically getting its own fandom where people, they don't like this show, but they enjoy the Brony community's artwork and products. That's actually very interesting. Definitely news to me.
News to me too. I think I heard it a couple of days ago.
Huh. But again, I can understand it. Because just the level of quality that this community consistently puts out. And yes, not everything the community puts out is the best quality, but there's so much of it out there, and so much of it is actually good. I mean, take our resident musician here, Navy Brony. I'm a huge fan of your work. I'm not trying to sound like a fanboy or,
fanboy.
Or, kiss ass or anything like that. But your style of music, I love it, just because it is the type of style of music I typically enjoy, that industrial electronic sound. And not only that, you just pour on the bass, and I love my bass. So it's... But
the wubs are strong with this one.
The wubs. Anyway, but it's like I said, if you can't find something in this community you enjoy, you just aren't looking hard enough, because there's everything from acoustic and country sounding to metal to electronic to, punk rock. There's all sorts of music that this community puts out, as well as just you have the fan fictions and the animations and just the artwork in general that is so stunning, in the comics. And if you name an artistic medium, and the Bronies have put something out in it. And not only that.
That kind of reminds me.
Yes.
I've noticed that there seems to be a definite lack of reggae bronies.
I think you're right.
I love that genre of music.
Maybe you should make some of that genre of music.
I can't reggae very well.
Okay, fair enough. Knowing your own limitations, I suppose. But speaking on music, Black Gryphon put out a song a little while ago called Paper Sky. We featured it to an extent on our site. We did a post on Black Gryphon, basically because we missed his initial debut of Appalicious and this song, as well as we caught the interview. He did an interview with the MBS show, which is another Brony podcast that we caught that one on time, and we said, well, we kind of missed the initial jump on these two, but why not just do it all in one, this is what Black Gryphon has been doing post. And the reason we feature him is because he's a military Brony. If you're a military Brony and you make music or you do artwork, obviously submit it to us, and we'll definitely give you a spot. Just because we'd like to promote our military Bronies artwork and work in general.
We like to encourage them to be creative and outgoing.
Absolutely, that's precisely it. And, Equestria Daily, they do so well what they do, which is feature everything from the community. It didn't seem to make sense for us. We initially started to do the songs for the troops, which we may or may not continue doing. We haven't done one of those in a while. But what I'm going to start doing is a specific focus on military Brony music. Not that I'm trying to exclude the other music, but like I said, you already have your sources for that, like Equestria Daily. What we want to do is give much the proper attention and it's kind of what we do. We are military Bronies that like to bring that military perspective to it and promote our fellow military Bronies. So be on the lookout for that, because I'm definitely going to be featuring that. But got a little off topic. Black Gryphon did a collaboration with I'm not quite sure how to say his name. I think it's Bosick. At least that's.
I think it's just pronounced basic.
Really? I thought the double A was pronounced with a long ah sound, but I could be wrong. Anyway, I guess it's not too important.
Bosick.
They did a collaboration to where they did a song called Paper Sky. Very good work. It's kind of the style I would expect from Black Gryphon, and I am familiar with. Let's call him Basic. Why not? I am familiar with his work. I've heard some of his songs before, and I do like his work. He is definitely more that electronic style, and it turned out very well. So you guys have any thoughts? Well, actually, let's take a quick break here in the chat to give them a quick preview, and then we will discuss it.
Lost in the shadow of the sunlight and found in celestial embrace, and I have never felt so alive as I do, knowing that somehow the sun will rise.
Okay, so break's over. It's easier for me to have that quick break in editing. No rest for us. But what did you guys think of the song?
I was very
impressed. I'm Black
impressed.
Gryphon, and I'm Basic.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, that solves that argument.
that does solve that argument. It's Basic. Got it.
Well, I was actually a really big fan of it. I really liked the, I guess it's called like an up-tempo kind of feel to it. Like it had like an uplifting feel. And I was a really big fan of that.
I think you're right. That's exactly how I would describe it. Upbeat, up-tempo, that uplifting feel. All the ups. Yes.
Yeah, and Black Griffin really got his voice going in this song.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I was very, very impressed with that. I thought that was really good.
I think that's probably one of Black Griffin's strongest, his strongest characteristics in terms of his music is his voice. He just has such a great singing voice and such a powerful singing voice that, once he gets going, it's incredible.
And he has a mean Donald Duck.
Yeah. Yes, he does. Indeed. What are your thoughts, Navy, being a fellow military brony musician?
I'm not too big of a fan of the kind of
the genre,
the clubbish auto-tune type of vocals, similar with that kind of genre. But I mean, I do have to agree that Black Griffin does have a pretty amazing singing voice. I think, if I recall correctly, he's actually a musician as a singer in the Navy band.
Really? I was not
he is.
aware. Huh. I wasn't aware of his specific job in the Navy. I just knew he was in the Navy, so. But that was actually one thing I was going to do for my music posts featuring military brony musicians, which I know I discussed this with you somewhat, Navy, is basically find out their service, what they do, all that stuff, as long as it's within OPSEC, obviously. If they're allowed to give that information, I suppose, is the type
This
of
music
deal.
is classified.
His music is classified. But kind of give an introduction to who they are and what they would describe their style as, all this sort of fun stuff of what branch they're in, all this good stuff, all this background information. Then kind of say, here's their previous works. And then once I've done and introduced them, every time they come out with new songs, and if it's alongside someone else, like let's say you and Black Griffin released a song at close to the same time, well then there would be a music post saying, here's new songs from these military brony musicians. And so, like I said, that's kind of the direction I would like to see our music section go. And if anyone here, if anyone listening to this is a military brony musician or knows a military brony musician, certainly send them our way. You can either have them contact our FOB Equestria Gmail, or you can actually have them email my email account, which is posted in the staff section. That's my Brony one that I use for all my Brony related work, just so I get a lot of emails, so it's easy to sort it out into separate accounts. Yeah. But I am currently the one heading this project up. If it changes hands, obviously I'll let everyone involved know, but it is kind of like one thing, like I said, it's the direction I want to see our music section go.
Did you get approval from command for this, Bengal?
I put it out there, and like I said, I put it in the chat, and everyone who was on at the time, Saunter was fine with it. No one else really objected to it, and
I object.
I mean, it's like I said, no one objected to it, so yeah, I'll run it by Firebrand if you really want me to, King, but at the same time, like I said, if he read up on all the chat, which that's a dangerous assumption, actually, because it gets pretty backlogged at times. I know I've come in from a long day of work and there's been like military bronies chat 185 messages.
Oh, I think one time I left, I came back, and it was like 790. I was like, oh god.
Yeah. So I'll you're right, King. I should probably more specifically direct it towards Josh to make sure he is aware of it. But at the same time, I don't see any issues with it, because it kind of fits what we're trying to do.
Yep.
Anyway, like I said, if you are a military brony musician or you know one, just have them get in contact with me either by email, or if you know how to get in touch with me on Skype, that's also good, because it's pretty known. I'm not going to broadcast it here just in case, but it's Skype or email.
Do it.
There are methods.
Do it.
You want me to? Fine. My Skype is Spangles44. If you aren't sure, it's like if you can't figure that out, I'm sorry.
No, he's not. He's not sorry at all.
No, you're right. I'm not sorry enough to try and elaborate more. It's pretty straightforward. But anyway, with
And
that,
now everybody spam Spangle.
you've got to have. I don't just accept contacts from anyone. Just putting that out there, you have to be someone I know, or it has to be a message that gives me a reason to add them. But
Hey, add me.
I don't just add random contacts with good reason. But
I do.
do you now?
Yeah, you should. It's good practice.
Actually, speaking of random contacts, I did recently add this one guy to my contacts who goes by Craggle Beats. Not sure, I can't remember the message he sent to me, but it was enough to convince me to add him. I haven't been able to talk with him as much as he wants to seemingly talk with me. But that's just simply because work and then FOB Equestria stuff and all that stuff. So if you want to add me to just talk to me, I can't make any promises. But that's enough as a tangent on that.
Speaking of music.
Yeah, speaking of music, the next song, it's not a Brony song, but it is a song by a Brony musician who is actually he's applying to get into the U.S. Air Force Academy out in Colorado. So he is an aspiring military Brony. We'll see what course his future takes, and I wish him the best of luck. But he released this song called Thunderbirds. Now, we stated it earlier, the Thunderbirds are the military's the Air Force's flight demonstration team. They're like the Blue Angels. I feel like the Blue Angels are probably a little more well-known. Navy.
Probably.
Probably. But I've seen the Thunderbirds a couple times. They are good. And this song, it kind of has a more relaxed feel, but I'll let you hear for yourselves here just in a moment. And yeah, so it's the reason we're featuring this, even though it is not pony related, is because it is by a Brony musician and it does have a military theme. So give it a listen and we'll be right back. Okay, so we are back, and like I said, I guess I would describe it as trance or ambient music. What would you say, Navy?
I'd say it's more along the lines of trance.
That's what I was. Like I said, that was my initial leaning. Any other thoughts, guys?
The side chains are strong with this one.
What do you mean by that?
It's just a certain method of making music. It's very popular with trance and different kinds of EDM genres, but essentially what you're doing is you're taking something like your kick drum and then you're having it trigger a compressor on a separate instrument. So usually it's like a pad or something like that. So you get that kind of pulsating effect with the pad where it keeps coming in, going back down, sometime a little bit after the bass drum.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about now. Well, mostly. I understood part of that. But I get what you're trying to say, and as it relates to this song. And I kind of do like having this as kind of just ambient music if I'm doing some work on something. It's good for me. Anyway, I liked it.
It actually, I was surprised because hearing this song, it actually reminded me of a song that I was really a big fan of growing up as a child. Even though it's from a movie, but Never-Ending Story. When I hear this, I think of that kind of that flow that exists in the song from the Never-Ending Story.
Huh. That is interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that movie in its entirety. I've seen parts of it, so that might be something I need to do is watch that entire movie. But any thoughts on the song, King? King Harold?
What?
Any thoughts on the song?
Yeah, I like it. I was just listening to it
Oh,
again.
Again, yes, it's definitely more that relaxed feel, and honestly, when I listened to it, since it was titled Thunderbirds, I kind of thought about what it might be like to flying. Okay, I didn't really have to think what it might be like because I have gotten to ride in an F-16 before in the back seat, so it did seem like it was kind of one. It did sound like something I could listen to while doing that. So
yeah, it has kind of a happy beat to it.
And oh man, my F-16 ride, like I said, I thought it related perfectly to that. Although I did puke my guts out. That kind of happens. Still totally worth it. And like I said, it was having that experience and basically putting that song with that memory. It went really well together. So I think he nailed the sound just right. And, you know, I do talk with this guy. Him and I are in pretty good communication. Especially because, I mean, for those of you who may or may not be aware, I was previously at the Air Force Academy before coming over to, you know, the working man side, the enlisted side. So I've been helping him out with his application process. So fingers crossed, I'm wishing the best of luck for him, and I'm doing everything I can, any questions he has to help him get in. So, potential military Brony musician in the future. Still a very good Brony musician in general. I like his music. And,
He does have some pony themed songs.
Yes, he does. He does indeed. Actually, I do have. I think one of his songs that I'm really a big fan of, if I'm recalling correctly, is called "A Dash of Rainbows," and that one I did not have on the topic list. So no one here is really too prepared to discuss it. But that is one of my other favorite songs.
I have actually heard this guy before because he has a track called "All These Wonders."
Yes, he is definitely a good Brony musician. I think I would like to see him get a little more attention than he does, I suppose. But at the same time, it's just kind of the way of the fandom. Since there's so much out there, it's really hard to get noticed, especially now that the community has matured as it has.
Yeah,
you have big names.
It's sort of, if you want to become big and be viewed, you have to do something that hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
Or do something that's better than whatever's out there.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, that's one approach. Definitely is just do something that's so big and so different that it can't be just washed out in the white noise, which is hard to do. That's something that, you know, if you can do it, props to you. Another thing that really does, in my opinion, help people to get their names out there is, you know, if you're a good Brony musician, try to collab with one of the big names in Brony music. They're busy, yes, but at the same time, it can't hurt to send them a request saying, hey, I have this idea for a song, and I would really like your help or involvement on it. And if they take the bait, like you get in touch with Mando Pony and he's like, oh, I love that idea. Let's work together. I mean, Mando Pony is definitely busy. We all know that, but just as an example, I think that's one way you can also kind of get your name out there. But that is also hard to do, like I said, because people are just so busy. But any other thoughts on that song or Brony music in general? No. Okay, cool.
Nope.
Silence is golden or silver, depending on if you're using duct tape.
Or rusty.
Silence does not equal consent.
Not always, no. But a lot of times silence can mean yes. As it does oftentimes in this podcast.
Back to sapper training with you.
Hey, I've had plenty of training on the subject. I do not need more. Please, God, no.
You need another sour stand down.
Oh, God, no. God, no. Anyway, with any other topics you guys want to bring up now that we have pretty much discussed a lot of, well, everything that's been going on? No. Okay, cool. I guess with nothing further to discuss, we will conclude.
We will be now switching over to Spangle mode, where he will be talking for another 30 minutes.
Hey, I will not be talking for another 30 minutes. It's going to be
You're
more.
right, 29 and a half.
Spangle mode. I've explained this before, okay? How many times do I have to explain this? I hate silence.
You don't have to explain it.
Okay.
We're joking.
Good.
Spangle, we love you.
I love you guys too. It's awesome.
When I say we, I mean Harold.
Anyway, with nothing further to discuss, I guess say your farewells. We'll start off from top to bottom here in the TeamSpeak server. So King, Mache, the Navy, and then we will sign off and say our last farewell.
Okay, goodbye, Bronies.
See you guys.
See ya.
Later, guys. This has been Spangle and Mache and King Harold and Navy Brony. All of us from FOB Equestria. Well, not all of us. Saunter, who?
Yes, all of us.
What about Saunter and Commander Firebrand?
They're from it too, but we are.
True. And I guess catch us next week. We will definitely continue to make these weekly as long as nothing comes up. And I guess this is FOB Equestria signing off. Semper Philly.